What is up, guys? It is Zach and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking more about Mario Golf Super Rush. Before we get into the video, I do want to clarify, I do not think the game looks bad. I want to get that out of the way, like, right now, because I already know there are going to be people who are going to be like, oh, Zach just wanted to rip on the game. No. I think the game actually looks pretty decent. I think Mario Golf Super Rush looks like a decent Mario Golf game. It looks like there's a decent amount of stuff in there. But the thing is with me is I think it looks far from perfect. Now, of course, any game you can look at and say it looks far from perfect. But these are just some things that I've noticed about the game that I personally think that Camelot really should have ironed out and just done before actually, releasing the game. I mean, given that it's being released in less than a month, I really hope that some of this stuff wouldn't be here, but it is. So, without any further ado, let's get into the topics that I wanted to talk about today. Firstly, the character roster. Now listen, the character roster itself isn't horrible. It introduces some new cool characters and some old familiar ones. So what's my issue with this? Well, I actually, funny enough, had a whole war happen on Twitter because of this on one of Nintendo's posts, and it caused quite the controversy. But personally, I think that this roster is, I can already tell by the extra spaces and all that they are going to add characters in after launch. And people might be like, why is that a bad thing? Well, I have two kind of reasonings for this. Firstly, it just adds characters that should have been there day one. Right? I mean, characters like Diddy Kong, Birdo, Toadette, Koopa Troopa, those are characters that it's like, alright, they're getting added in later, they're not getting added in day one. Like, we're supposed to be excited about these characters coming. Like, for Mario Tennis Aces, whatever, like, it was the first one on the Switch. But given that they've already got the models for these characters, I'm sure they already got some animations, I'm sure, they have 3 years to do this, why aren't those kinds of characters in their day one? Like, if the post-launch characters were characters like King Babam or Charge and Chuck or even Pauline, I would have been like, okay, that makes more sense. Those are newer characters, even though Pauline actually I think was in Mario Tennis Aces. But regardless, like, they're newer characters. They are a little more hype. They have a little more interest. That's whatever. But when it's characters like Diddy Kong and Birdo and Koopa Troopa and Toadette, who are usually always in Mario Golf, but you're trying to drive this hype that you're adding them in, even though they've been in Mario Golf, like, the entire time. Like, someone kept saying, like, oh, you're trying to make this, like, the Smash Ultimate of Mario Golf games. No, I'm just saying if you're gonna release characters, just give them to us day one. Or have us unlock them through the story. That's something that I never even understood with Mario Tennis Aces. I remember there was one battle where I was fighting Blooper. I was, playing tennis against Blooper, so I always thought it'd be cool if you could unlock Blooper from that. But no, I had to wait until, they had a tournament or something to where I could win Blooper or unlock him that way. Why wouldn't you unlock someone like Blooper through the story mode in that regard? Same thing with this story, right? It looks like you're going to battle or golf against some familiar Mario foes. Why aren't those characters that you can unlock through the story? Now, they could be characters you unlock through the story, and Nintendo are hiding them really well, but given that the trailer just flat out said there are 16 playable characters, and they didn't count the me, so this is just 16 playable Mario characters, given that they said that, it's making me think that they're just going to do stuff post-release, personally. But the other thing I don't like about this statement is that, like, people are like, oh, it just gives the game more replayability, it gets people to come back. I'm sorry, if your way of getting people to come back to your game is by putting characters in there that should have been there day one, that's kind of pathetic. That just shows that the game isn't good. Now, I'm not saying that Mario Golf is not going to be a good game, but I'm saying if that's what you're going to do to get people to replay it, like why? They should make each mode have depth and replayability. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that these modes won't be replayable, that you won't go back and replay them. But people arguing that the playable characters are what's going to keep bringing people back, I mean, it's a cheap way of doing it, isn't it? It's a cheap way of getting people to come back. Like, oh, we got a shiny new character for you, even though it's not shiny and new at all. It's just Birdo for the 10 millionth time. Like, if you're going to do that, like I said, at least do interesting characters. Like I said, put King Babam would have been perfect for that, or Charge and Chuck would have been perfect for that. Why hide all the characters that we're used to? And, I get it, you have to have new characters to have that initial intrigue, I get it. But do that more post-launch. Because I know, let's say we get 12 more characters like they did with Mario Tennis Aces. You know what? So we got Birdo covered, we got Toadette covered, we got Koopa Troopa covered, we got, what was the other one I said earlier? Diddy Kong covered. So we have at least like half of them probably covered already, and they're basic characters that should have been there day one. To me, makes no sense, but that's just my personal opinion on it. I know so many people are like, oh, the character roster isn't important. To me, it is. It's important to have a decent selection of characters, because one argument I saw a lot was, oh, you're not going to play every single character. Why do you care how many characters there are? I'm not selfish. It's not about me. You know, like, some people really like Diddy Kong. You know, it's like, why do they have to wait longer just to get Diddy Kong, who's usually always a day one character? Or Birdo. Actually, Birdo's usually my pick. I love playing as Birdo. So not having Birdo there day one is kind of like, what's the point of that? Same with Toadette or any other character that people just really like. To me, it's just pointless that they're doing this. Next up is the course variety. Now, I actually gave this game a pass at first with this, because I always said that if the game has, traditional, regular, non-Mario themed courses, that's fine, but I do want them to have the goofy and fun, wacky Mario Golf courses. Looking back on previous Mario Golf games, they were so creative. There were so many different creative, especially on the 3DS. The 3DS had a lot of really, the 3DS had freaking 16 courses after DLC. Like, the 3DS was loaded. But, overall, the game had so much content put into it, and all the courses were fun and unique. Even the Game Boy Advance Mario Golf game, now, it didn't have the most creative courses in the world. In fact, it only had one really mushroom-themed course, but at least there were some cool gimmicks on that course to make it intriguing. To me, Mario Golf Super Rush doesn't really have that. The Bowser course seems to have a few gimmicks that are really, really cool, like a giant whop that you have to get past and all that. It seems cool enough, but every other course seems generic. Really, really generic, with just some Mario stuff thrown in. Especially the fact that there's only 6 courses. Now, the course number doesn't really matter for me, because 6, 7, 8 is pretty standard for Mario Golf. It's just that Mario Golf World Tour is kind of the outlier. But none of them are really creative. Like I said, really, except for the Bowser one. But even the Bowser one is just a generic castle and lava theme. So they don't really spice it up. Like I said, look at the 3DS games as golf courses. There are some that are really, really fun, really, really creative, really, really clever. And yeah, they cover the main bases here, but it's like nothing catches my eye and draws me to it and makes me say, okay, this is definitely golf with a Mario spin. Sure, the characters have their own unique moves, but to me, there's nothing here that makes these courses, any of them, scream Mario, except for the Bowser one. And I really hope they do, I don't think they're going to do courses post-launch. If they do, it's probably going to be paid DLC, which I'll probably actually be pretty angry about. Given that this game has less content than the 3DS game and costs more. Regardless, I don't know. The courses just don't interest me at all. It's not like a breaking point thing for me, like with Mario Tennis Aces, because Mario Golf has always kind of had the standard golf courses, but it also had the fun Mushroom Kingdom ones, so I don't know. It's just something that kind of pesters me. And to bring up the quantity, even though the average range is 6, 7, 8, Super Rush still has the least amount of golf courses, and actually it's tied with the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games. So, I feel like as a big Mario Golf game, the big, fresh, new Mario Golf game, I thought it would have more to offer. Sure, there's the Battle Golf course, but I don't think that really counts. I'm going to get into the Battle Golf thing in a little bit. But, yeah, the courses don't look great. Now, this concern I have, the other two are based on stuff we definitely know. We know there's 16 characters, and we know there's 6 courses. The 6 courses thing got confirmed by the website of the game. So, the one other concern I have is just something that's just basic to every single Mario side game there's been on the Nintendo Switch, and that's replayability. I'm really trying to think of what's going to make this game replayable to a lot of people. Yeah, there's the whole characters thing, but besides even that, I look at, let's say, the Battle Golf mode, for instance, right? Battle Golf looks like a lot of fun. I'll be honest, it's probably a mode that I'm definitely going to try out, and I'm definitely excited to play. But I'm wondering, is it only that one stadium? This is nothing they have confirmed yet, but this sounds like the kind of thing Nintendo would do, where it's just that one stadium with those 9 holes, and that's it. And, sure, you can have, varied gameplay within that, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem like there's much to it. And with the speed golf, well, it's just the regular golf mode with speedy, isn't it? There's nothing really unique or interesting about that. But then people are going to be like, oh, these modes are brand new and look awesome. Well, yeah, of course, they're new. Of course they look awesome. But how long will the novelty last? People always say this was something new, right? Oh my god, it's new, it's going to be amazing. And then, a couple weeks later, they're like, okay, I'm used to this novelty now. This isn't a novelty anymore. This is now something I'm used to. So this is now something I expect. So before people tell me, oh, these modes are going to be amazing, just really step back and think. right? Once you get this game in your hands, once you really play it, will these modes really seem that amazing, that in-depth, that big, that replayable? You know, like, how many people go back and play Mario Tennis Aces online? I'm sure there's a decent amount of people, and probably some that are watching this video because you're a fan of Mario sports games, but I just don't see many people going back to Mario Tennis and being like, oh, that's a great replayable experience. Like, I don't see that, and I feel like the same is going to happen here to Mario Golf. Sure, there's a lot of different modes that you can play through, but the vibe I'm getting, and I don't think it's going to be as extreme as this, but I'm getting Super Mario Party vibes here. Super Mario Party had a bunch of different modes. It had the regular Mario Party mode, it had the Partner Party mode, it had the River Survival mode, it had the Rhythm Game mode, it had so many different modes, but all of them were so shallow. You played them once or twice and you kind of get the deal, and you had no real incentive to go back and play them. Sure, Super Mario Party didn't have online for those modes, but even still, it just made the experience a lot less replayable because each mode was so shallow. Rather than having one mode or two modes or even three with a lot of depth and a lot of intricacies in them, giving people reason to come back and play them, they have these 5 or 6 different modes that have no depth at all. Like, there's also Toad's Rec Room in the single player mode. There's so many modes, but none of them have any depth. The one thing I'll give Super Mario Party in this instance is that Super Mario Party has characters that you unlock through the gameplay. You didn't have to wait a month to unlock Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, Dry Bones, or Pom Pom. You can get them day one if you complete the objectives. If you go and actually really play through the game and, just beat it. Experience it. Not just come back to play as blooper for a round of tennis and then that's it. Like, there's more to it than just waiting around and having the character just show up on your character roster. Maybe I'm just old school in that aspect. As you can tell, I prefer older retro games because the way they did it in the past was just so much better. They had a decent amount of characters from launch, had golf courses that were great throughout. They didn't need to update, to add the characters they didn't add for whatever the reason. I don't know. Like I said, Mario Golf Super Rush looks like a good enough game. I think I'm definitely going to play it, and I'll probably at least somewhat enjoy it. I'll probably find some redeeming qualities to it. But that does not mean that this game doesn't kind of upset me. Camelot have had, 3 years to work on this game? Like, I feel like they could have done more with it. They could have made more courses, or at least added more depth to the ones they had. I mean, I'm really hoping I'm wrong with the whole replayability thing, but, I mean, I don't know. I'm just getting concerned, because this is, people are going to be like, oh, why are you so worried? This is just something Nintendo games always have, Mario Tennis Aces, besides the characters, what was there bringing you back? Unless you want to play a round of tennis with your friend today, there's nothing actively bringing you back. And I feel like Mario Golf is going to be the same exact way. But we'll see when it comes out in just about a month. So I would like to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All the stuff down below. Click on the notification bell so you're notified when I upload videos. And check out the merch store. There's some cool ZakPak merch up on there for you to check out. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.